Merry Christmas.
What's your message to your team after a game like that today? It was kind of ugly, but you obviously good enough to get a win.
Yeah, the message was Merry Christmas. I thought, we've talked about the relentless play style. We've talked about that all week on a short week because we knew we couldn't get pads popping during the week, but we knew we had to play a physical game. When you guys go in there, you'll see a few of the guys look like they were just in literally a heavyweight title fight. Malik Davis's arms all beat up and bloody, his eyes swollen. We were running out of bodies there at the end on offense, 80-something plays, 38 minutes time possession. But, again, at the end of the day, it was a physical game, and I'm just really proud of these guys.
Fourth down, obviously you talked about third down, sets up fourth down, but the fact that you did convert from 5 fourth downs, how big is that in a game like this?
Yeah, that was kind of the plan going in, but why? The plan is you got to play yourself into those situations, and we weren't being cavalier. We weren't being reckless with it. We were getting ourselves into fourth down and 2 or 3, and we trust our guys to make plays, and I think they did it. I think it was 6 for 6 is what they told me. Again, I think that's a huge part of the time of possession.
Cowboys. The season was Dak has been sharp most of the season. His first game under 60% passing. Didn't seem like he was as sharp as he's been, but at the end of the day, 300 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and then keep converting fourth downs in the fourth quarter. You talking about Dak's game?
Yeah, his game again was incredible. He's been playing so good. He missed some throws. He'd like to have some throws back. I'd definitely like to have some calls back. There were some calls there that I just really didn't like. I thought DQ had a better call than me in a number of areas. But, again, the leadership, the guy made plays with his legs. The guy, we don't convert those fourth downs without Dak. I thought that's where he was really, really sharp. And, again, the way this guy competes is just special, Clarence. And wasn't surprising to me that we finished on the field with the ball, and he did it with his legs with the quarterback sneak.
6 sacks. He took a lot of hits.
Yeah.
Do you always have to look forward next week and say, maybe we need to say this is enough for that?
It's Christmas. I'm going to enjoy Christmas, man. I'm going to have some eggnog, and I'll deal with that when I get looking back to the film. But definitely some eggnog, and we're playing to win.
Not a shot.
Yeah, shoddy after the eggnog.
Brian Todd for ESPN. With Malik and what he was able to do from where he was in August or July, whenever we were in Oxnard, to now.
Yeah.
Can you just talk about that?
Yeah, I can. When we let Malik go, we had just kind of talked about, like, hey, maybe a change of scenery is good for you. That's kind of, literally he and I had that conversation. We said, hey, change of scenery is good. And some guys figured it out. And he went home and he sat home and he had a couple workouts, but nobody bit. And when he came back, Todd, he was a different person. The way he approached everything, from the preparation, from the professionalism, everything was different. And that's the power of being on the outside looking in. And from the day he came back and walked into Oxnard and I saw him, I knew it was different. And he's played incredible well. He got over 100 yards today. I was trying to inform it, trying to get him the ball, and literally I looked over and he was like this. His eye is all swollen. It looked like he took a right hand from Tyson. But, again, I'm so proud of him, man. He ran hard. Offensive line, I think we had 210 yards rushing today. We ran the ball really, really well. And big part, again, of the us controlling the clock, time of possession.
And then you talked to us before about year one of the program. How much does winning that last game to not have a losing record matter?
Again, we want to win. We play to win. 8-1. We do the math. Sounds way better than the alternative. But, again, the other thing is right now we sit at, 4-1 in the division. It's a pretty good division. Historically, it's been one of the best in football, and you can see how physical the games are just by watching today's game.
I'm sure with the Athletic, you've seen enough improvement from the defense in this game, or was there still too many big plays? Obviously,
They gave it the big run, John. I think you look at some of the statistical stuff, third down, I think they were 1 for 6. We held them to 1 for 6 on third down. They didn't have many third downs. Did a good job in the red zone. There were some positives. There's some things to clean up. The explosive run. We got to tackle a little bit better today. But again, I thought they did a really good job today, and let the couple star receivers that they got over there get loose a few times. But that's going to happen.
And just overall, how do you feel about the team right now going into this film?
Excited. Got one more championship opportunity left, and want to go out with a win, and want to finish the season 5-1, hopefully in the division, and 8-1. And But give these guys a few days off. They deserve it. They need it. They're beat up. Again, like I said, we ran out of personnel groupings. We really were down to a back and a half and tight ends. Did you guys like our new motion where we had two guys going in motion? What would have been cool is if they would have run into each other. That would have been really cool. I thought you guys would like that, But maybe we'll put it in next week. We'll see. But literally, Luvu looked over at us, and I was kind of like, yeah, you got to laugh. What are you going to do? You got to laugh. Because it was unique, to say the least.
Big Harris Sports, Star Telegram. Davian Clowney, he's given you guys a lot on and off the field. You talked about it this year. Specifically these last couple of weeks, though, when the professionalism kind of needs to take the uptick, being eliminated and having to work through it. How valuable has he been, and then his game today as well?
Incredible, because I hear him talk to the young guys about, what it means to play in this league and how privileged we all are to be a part of this league and this special league and never take it for granted. And I think, when he was a younger player, he can speak to this. I think, not that he took it for granted, but I think he appreciates it so much more now in year whatever it is. And I thought he was dominant out there today. The little bit that, you just kind of look up and you see 42 harassing the quarterback. You see 42 chasing down rounds. And I just love the way the guy plays, man. And so happy that we brought him in and so happy that he's having the impact in that locker room with the young players.
And more with the run game, when Javonte went down and you're basically handing off the load to Malik, the confidence in Malik to have in that moment too, has that just been built up over the course of the year? How do you attribute that confidence he had in that moment?
He's earned it. He really has. He's earned it. He practices like that every day, big touchdown run, I think it's Kansas City, right? He runs hard. What you don't see is the hidden yards. To get to 100, I guarantee you 30 of those are after contact, pushing piles, keeping his legs going, things like that. Again, he stepped in. TJ Bass, I thought, he stepped in. Bridges comes in, you lose Revel. It literally was a lot of adjusting going on over there. You'll want to get the Netflix footage and hear a lot of swear words on my part because I was calling for personnel groupings that we didn't have. And again, that's where I think Dak's so good, man, because, when I'm sped up and I'm pressing, he's kind of like, dude, relax. Like, I got you.
And Javonte, Revel, any updates on this?
Yeah, again, Revel's got concussion protocol. And then, let's see, who'd you ask me about? Javonte, his shoulder, stinger, same thing that he had, yeah.
Cowboys.com. You talked a lot about time possession. You said last week you weren't happy with it this time. You said 40 minutes or so. Obviously, running the football, when you have 4 or 5 drives, 10 or more plays, how much do you enjoy that, knowing that you're taking the time off the clock?
Yeah, well, again, I think it's one of those things, Tommy, when you're watching the game on the sidelines and you're calling it, like what I noticed was the movement we were getting. We were getting a lot of movement up front, so you're kind of standing there and you're watching how things unfold, and you see us moving them backwards and controlling the line of scrimmage. It makes it easier to call runs when you're seeing that, and quite honestly, you don't always see that. But I've always known we're a physical football team. I've always known we could beat people offensively different ways. If they want to double our receivers and try to take George and CD and those guys out and play light box, these guys played a bunch of cover 4. They sat back there and cover 4 most of the day, and when teams want to do that, we're going to run the football at a high level.
When you score on all 3 of your drives from then on, so the second half, did they change anything in terms of what they did?
No, again, I think, we hurt ourselves on third down a little bit, had a couple false starts and things like that. They called George for a OPI penalty that I thought was a little ticky-tack. But no, again, I think at the end of the day, it just came down to we executed really, really well in the first half, and it was more up and down in the second half.
Coach, how proud of you? Dave Ginsburg, Associated Press. How proud are you of that start? Could have been flat Christmas on the road at playoffs, but you had touchdowns in the first 3 possessions. Take control of the game.
Yeah, again, I never worry about these guys' effort. I really don't. These guys are they're all about football. We've talked about it all week. The local guys have asked me about the heart of this football team, and these guys are just built different, man. They love each other. We've been through a lot this year, losing Marshawn, and that's, like I said, galvanized us. And I had no question we would come out and play hard. But again, I thought we were hitting on all cylinders offensively early on.
Tim Callis, Rod Dallas, one of his columnists together.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Tim. Yes.
86-yarder to turkey.
Yeah. Incredible. You and I are having a moment. Yes.
You talk about, obviously, you're punting out of your end.
Yep.
And just he doesn't get a ton of opportunities, but him making the most of them.
Yeah, well, again, we talked about Dak, Tim, and that he would like to have some throws back. I thought that was a dime. We had kind of a little double move on the outside trying to get George and CD, and they went to what we call tricky two, where they're trying to ask guys that probably aren't used to running with guys that run 4-2 down the middle of the field. And we've repped that quite a bit. We've talked about that quite a bit. We actually hit it here a couple years ago against these guys, not for that long, but Turp affects the game in so many ways, and that's what you love about him in the slot, because if they do want to try to double the outside studs, Turp can hurt you in so many ways. I knew he wasn't getting caught, by the way. Like, when he caught it, it was like, bye-bye. Yeah, it was like Forrest Gump running. It's like, yeah, they ain't catching him.
And on you mentioned 87 plays, I think, 480 yards and no turnovers. Shouldn't that be an easier win when you have all that?
Yeah, and maybe not in the NFC East, Again, I'd say this. You guys know Dan. I know DQ. We knew his guys would respond. That's a prideful team over there. I see guys like Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu and those guys, just the way they play. And, I was not surprised by that. This is the NFC East and a lot of pride at stake, and both teams are very, very, very competitive.
I think it's third straight game, no second half touchdown. Any reason for that?
Yeah, again, I think it goes down to the execution. I don't think there's one reason, we got to convert third downs at a higher level. Again, I think, I'll take the 30 points. I'll take the efficiency on fourth down, but, we'll keep taking a look at it. But, again, it goes back to third down and the inability to convert some of those third down situations. I think is real. I think we have 20. I think we were 8 of 20, I think, on third down and 6 for 6 on fourth down. So 8 of 20, and I'm not sure what it was in the second half.
And such I would say, disjointed performance considering what your defense gave up and turning a 21-3 game into a dogfight. Can you build momentum with them just on the win or how you play?
No, I think you build momentum on the fact that we won. You build momentum on the fact we held them 1 for 3 in the red zone. We were very good on third down defensively. But we look at everything. I'm not going to just sugarcoat it and say, hey, we played perfect. We didn't play perfect, but we got the win. We'll point out the things we did well. We'll point out the things that we need to improve, like we always do. You know me, I trust the process, and that's not going to change whether you win or lose, or whether it's game 16 or game 1.
Going back to Turpin's touchdown, there was a play last week with about 8 minutes left. Turpin was coming out of the slot. It looked like he pulled up earlier. There was miscommunication. Is there anything similar from that play to this play and why this one worked?
Look at you. Seriously, that's very cool. Similar type deal. Cover 2. The difference was James stayed on top, the safety, and Turp just felt like he couldn't get there. We give those guys a chance to kind of read it, and when they can certainly go, sometimes they go. And when they can't, they have other responses that they can do. But it's exactly the same type of thing. Another third and long call, expecting tricky 2, and I mean this. That's really cool. It was exactly a similar situation in play. You want a job?
You want to win all these games, but the franchise quarterback got sacked 6 times here in Minnesota.
Yep.
Any concern about that if he is getting hit a little bit more?
Yeah, of course. I don't want to get them hit 6 times. Last week we were way better, but like I said, we'll look at it. Again, I give them a lot of credit. We also ran 80-something plays. Again, some of it was coverage things. I thought he did a great job with his legs, but I don't want Dak to get hit like that. But I think we know how to do it at a higher level than we did tonight. But again, give them credit over there. They did some nice job, and some of their rush patterns were good.
The pressure on Johnson. I don't want to say he's old, but he is 39. But
Yes, be careful here. You're talking to a really old, a lot of older people in here.
I'm older too.
I know.
Any concern about I should have got more pressure on him?
Yeah. Again, I thought he did look comfortable back there, but again, you're certainly getting enough pressure on him when you hold them to 1 for 6 on third down, things like that. Again, was it perfect? No. I will say this: I know they were doing a lot of things to chip our edges and things like that. There's things you can do to take advantage of that, but at the end of the day, this is a damn good football win for our football team, and we're going to enjoy Christmas.
Yeah, for those of us whose readers aren't as educated as Nick,
Yeah, he's very educated.
you were expecting tricky two last week and didn't get it, and you got it today?
No, it was a different form of tricky two. Yeah, they had a different guy running down the hole. So they had Derwin James, much bigger, longer athlete. I don't know who it was today, but he obviously miscalculated how fast number 9 is because, and there's a part of it, Tim, where they try to disguise. They're trying to show you like one high, and then they roll to it to try to confuse the quarterbacks. That's the tricky part of it. Yeah, you learn what? Did you write it down? Huh? There you go, tricky two. There you go, tricky two. hey, it's been around a long time. Hey, it's good. I love that. Good. All right, thanks. Hey, Merry Christmas. Seriously.